Hey there guys, and welcome to the SuperBaby video podcast series on the Food for Thought blog. Now, before I jump into this episode, just a few key points I want to mention. The first things first is, if you've seen any of my previous video podcasts, you know I usually do something almost in the form of a video blog with a recording of myself. Unfortunately, my camera did happen to break right before the filming of these podcast episodes, so I apologize for that. That being said though, the video component is still there because I will be using this to show proofs, quotes, and other things helpful to the podcast, so definitely be on the lookout for those. Secondly, if you ever need to get a reminder of the thesis of this series, the content, the main theme, or anything like that, there is a link posted directly below this video which will take you to the home page for the series, so definitely go check that out. And finally, if you want to check out any of my other video podcast series or any other of my blog posts, please click on the logo above or use the menu to scroll your way through. Also, I will be using a lot of different sources to help with my research. So for each episode, all sources will be cited in the description below with clickable hyperlinks. Also, any additional information, descriptions, or anything like that will be left in the description, so make sure to check that out before the end of the episodes. So episode 1, Once Upon a Time. I wanted to make this episode a really simple introduction to the series because there is a few things that you need to keep in mind as we go through. The first things first is the basis of the series, and that's the novel Lullabies for Little Criminals by Heather O'Neill. Now, this is a very beautifully written novel. It spoke of many very difficult topics, and I connected with it personally at a great level, very emotionally moving, and I very thoroughly enjoyed. But that being said, with a novel like this, oftentimes the emotional side of it can become overbearing, and it can almost mask over some of the other elements that make the novel so great. So in order to get the full effect and try to understand the book the best we can, we must look at it from many different ways. And the SuperBaby series looks at the novel from the archetypal literary theory. And while we will be looking at many different archetypes, I want to focus on just one. And if you haven't noticed already from the Marvel themed intro or the Superman type logo itself, this archetype is the hero. And no, not a superhero, although I wish it was because that'd be way more fun to talk about. This is about the archetypal hero, and more specifically, how Baby fully encapsulates and portrays this hero-like quality, this hero-like character throughout the whole novel. So in order to accomplish this, we will be spending 4 episodes breaking down things like the qualities of a hero, examples of heroes, famous example of heroes, and other archetypes that surround a hero as well. Lastly, I want to talk about a few elements from the hero's journey. Now, we won't actually be talking about the hero's journey in this series, but it's important for us to point out a few key elements as they will come into play in the future episodes. The 3 main elements are the ordinary world, the special world, and the adventure. For our analysis of Lullabies for Little Criminals, we're going to be looking at the novel like this. The ordinary world for Baby is her time with Jules. It's her being under his protective wing, and it's the situation that we're first introduced to. He protects her, provides for her, and she's happy in that situation. So that makes her special world the time that's not that. That's her time without Jules, out on the streets, hanging out with the different people, and making those real world experiences on her own. And that brings us to the adventure, which speaks of the time frame between the hero going from the ordinary world to the special world back to the ordinary world. So that means the time between Baby going from being under Jules' wings to her time without Jules back to her time with Jules. Now, I know it seems like a pretty big point to just breeze past, but again, this is just because I will be referencing these in the later episodes as in the later episodes, as it is very difficult to separate the hero's journey from the hero themselves. So that'll be it, guys. Thank you for listening. I hope this provides a well enough base for you to take as much as possible from the remaining episodes in this series. As always, if you have any comments, disagreements, agreements, anything I should look into, leave them in the comments below and I will get to them. But till then, I'm Sabia Lee, and this is Food for Thought.